So, the UK government has confirmed its intention to reduce net migration and decrease the reliance on overseas workforce. This recently published white paper also talks about drastic reforms regarding prioritizing local workforce and also limiting the ILR requirements, or you can say, the migration routes of long-term stay here in the UK. I think these proposals mark one of the biggest changes the UK immigration can face in the future. And if this goes through, this can affect a lot of international students planning to come here in the UK. My name is Anjali and this is Shaiti UK. Today I will walk you through 10 things international students should know about the UK immigration white paper that the UK government has recently published. So the first one is higher skill requirements for skilled worker visas. This means that the government is planning to change the minimum skills required for the skilled worker visas. Currently they're set at A levels, which is the 12th standard for Indian education system, and they're gonna go back to degree level and above. So the second one in the list is increase in salary thresholds. The Migration Advisory Committee has been tasked to review the current salary thresholds for the skilled worker route, and at the moment the standard is around 38,700 for a particular job role, but it also depends on a lot of various factors. I think you can basically download the list from the government website and check if your particular job role is meeting that requirement or if it's a bit higher for your particular specific job role. But what they plan to do is they're aiming to increase the salary thresholds, and this means that the employers might find it more costly to sponsor overseas workers. So the third one in the list is stricter English language requirements. This basically means that the minimum English language requirement for skilled worker visas will increase from B1, which is the intermediate, to B2, which would be the upper intermediate. And in addition, even the adult dependents that will be applying with you for the first time might need to finish the A1 beginner level requirement, and also for extension it will go up to A2 for extensions, and then for settlement you might need B2 level requirements. These steps are basically aimed at ensuring that there is stronger and better language integration in the UK so that people can converse and communicate with each other effectively. So the next one is the new temporary shortage occupation list. This new list is proposed to provide short-term recruitment of overseas workforce for lower skilled roles, and this list is basically intended to provide a stopgap measure for only those shortage roles that is needed in the UK, and this might not provide like a long-term migration route for people who are looking to convert their visas into an ILR, which is the permanent residency here in the UK. Now the fifth and the most important one is the longer wait for ILRs, which is the indefinite leave to remain in the UK, also the PR for the UK. The government plans to extend the number of years from 5 to 10, and this might come as a big impact for people who are already in this route, or they might be planning to start their skilled worker visas, but it hasn't been decided what the government might finalize, if it's going to be applicable for the people who are already on this route or they're planning to go in future. So we'll just have to wait and see if this affects the people who are already on this route. Now the migrants can also reduce the number of years that they have to do in the current proposal through the contributions that they've made to the UK economy and the society. This might be very similar to the point-based system that they have in the US at the moment, but it's not decided yet, or it's not finalized. So we'll just have to wait for them to understand if this is the way forward. So the next one is the graduate visas shortened to 18 months. This means that the current graduate visa, which allows 2 years after your studies to look for jobs or find a sponsored skilled employer, now this will be cut to 18 months, which means that the students or the graduates will have to look for jobs sooner, and this might reduce some opportunities for them to look for skill employment or sponsors for their jobs. So the seventh one is the continued support for highly skilled talent. While the government plans to tighten general immigration rules, it remains committed to attracting top international talent. Key measures include simplified access to the Global Talent Visa for world-leading experts, especially in science and design, doubling the number of workers allowed under the expansion worker route, which lets representatives of overseas companies set up operations in the UK, a possible expansion of the high potential individual route, making it easier for elite graduates from top universities to enter the UK workforce. So the eighth one is the closure of social care visas for new applicants. This means that the new overseas applicants will no longer be eligible for social care visas. However, those already in the UK might be able to extend or switch their visas until 2028. This means that the government is planning to phase out the social care visas, with their goal being to end all the overseas sponsorship for social care visas in the future. Now the next one is the rise in immigration skills charge, a fees that the employer must pay to sponsor a foreign worker. The current proposal is to increase it by 32% from the first day it was introduced back in 2017, and the cost of it could be 1,320 per sponsored year. This means that the employers might find it even more costlier than before to sponsor a foreign worker here in the UK. So the last one is stricter employer rules. The UK plans to enforce stricter immigration policies, which means the employer will do more checks and be more careful when employing a foreign worker or sponsoring an international student or a graduate. So students should focus on applying to trusted companies with a solid history of visa sponsorship that might help them in the future. However, all of these things we talked about are just proposals, and these have not been finalized yet. That means that there is a long way to go before any of these policies or these actions are actually taken into place. The people who are planning to come here to the UK, or the international students who are basically planning their masters or their degree courses here, they should be aware of these changes and wait for further announcement by the UK government on what they plan to do in the future. I think this kind of gives you a clarification that there are some new updates going on this year, and hopefully this should help you in the journey forward. Make sure to like this video and also subscribe to our channel. We usually make videos regarding visas, immigration, international students here in the UK coming from Indian background or Asian backgrounds. And if you have any comment regarding this video, do feel free to share this with us in the comments, and we will make sure that it's answered. Thank you.